Welcome to The Book in Brief. Today we're diving into Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, a hauntingly beautiful coming of age story, a murder mystery, and a love letter to nature all in one. Set against the wild marshlands of North Carolina, this best selling novel follows the life of Kaya Clark, a girl abandoned by her family and raised in isolation. Through her eyes, we explore themes of loneliness, resilience, prejudice, and the delicate balance between the natural world and human society. Let's uncover the mystery of the marsh girl and the truths hidden where the crawdads sing. Part 1. The Marsh Girl, 1952 to 1969. Abandonment, 1952. The story begins in 1952. In a small shack, deep within the marsh, 6-year-old Kaya watches as her mother, Ma, walks away with a suitcase and never returns. Kaya, too young to understand, waits for days, hoping her mother will come back. But instead of comfort, more loss follows. One by one, her older siblings leave, tired of their father's drunken rages and abuse. Kaya is eventually left alone with her father, a war veteran broken by trauma and alcohol. He disappears for days at a time, sometimes returning only to beat or threaten her. For a while, he softens, sharing small stories or cooking fish, but soon he too vanishes for good, leaving Kaya to fend for herself in a world that offers neither compassion nor care. With no family, money, or education, Kaya learns to survive on her own, fishing, digging mussels, and hiding from the authorities who might try to place her in foster care. She grows wild and wary, forming a bond with the marsh itself, which becomes her protector and parent. The Kindness of Strangers, 1953 to 1956. Despite the harshness of her life, not everyone turns away. Jumpin', a black man who runs a gas dock in the swamp, notices Kaya's desperate attempts to sell mussels for money. Though cautious due to the racism of the 1950s South, he and his wife Mabel extend kindness to Kaya, offering her clothes, supplies, and a quiet kind of love. Kaya begins to create a life around nature. She names the birds, watches the tides, and learns to move through the swamp silently. The natural world becomes her teacher, schooling her in patterns, survival, and beauty. Meanwhile, the people of Barkley Cove whisper about her, calling her white trash and the marsh girl. Children mock her, adults shun her. When she tries to attend school for a single day, she's humiliated and never returns. From that point forward, she chooses the swamp over civilization. Discovery and Curiosity, 1957 to 1959. As Kaya enters adolescence, she becomes more curious about people, but remains cautious. Around this time, she notices gifts, feathers, shells, and leaves, left on a stump near her home. They are from Tate Walker, a boy a few years older who knew her brother Jody. Unlike others, Tate doesn't mock her. Over time, he leaves her small treasures, and eventually, they speak. Tate gently gains Kaya's trust and teaches her to read and write using books and old National Geographic magazines. For Kaya, literacy is a revolution. She learns not only the names of the creatures she knows intimately, but also how to express her thoughts through writing. It's her first real connection to the broader world. Their friendship deepens into love. As Kaya matures, their bond becomes tender and intimate. Tate encourages her to document the marsh's biology, noting her extraordinary observational skills and artistic ability. Her drawings, detailed and scientific, reflect a mind shaped by instinct and wonder. But as their relationship grows, a shadow looms. Tate plans to leave for college to study biology. He promises to come back for her, a promise Kaya clings to. Heartbreak and Betrayal, 1960 to 1963. When Tate leaves, Kaya waits on the beach every 4th of July, scanning the horizon for his return. But he never comes. The betrayal cuts deep, reinforcing the lesson life has already taught her. Everyone leaves. Everyone lies. Kaya turns away from the idea of human connection. She returns fully to the marsh, finding solace in her solitude and the unchanging rhythms of nature. She continues to draw and catalog the life around her, but now with a heart guarded by silence. Then another figure enters her life. Chase Andrews, a handsome, popular boy from town. Where Tate was gentle and patient, Chase is confident and physical. He flatters Kaya, takes her out on his boat, and brings her small gifts. Despite her mistrust, Kaya is pulled in by the idea that she might still be worthy of love. Over time, they begin a secret relationship. Kaya believes Chase truly cares, and he promises marriage, giving her a shell necklace as a symbol of their bond. Yet he never introduces her to his friends, never speaks of a future outside the marsh. The town still sees her as an outsider, and so does he. The world expands, 1963 to 1968, as Kaya becomes more confident in her artistic and scientific abilities. Tate, now back from college, sees her work and is amazed. Although Kaya initially wants nothing to do with him, he apologizes sincerely, explaining that he didn't think she'd want someone with such a different life. Tate encourages her to publish her illustrations as a guide to marsh life. With his help, Kaya's work is sent to a publisher, and to her shock, they accept it. Soon, she begins receiving checks in the mail, enough to secure her home and create a stable future. For the first time, Kaya isn't merely surviving, she's thriving. Yet trouble brews. Kaya discovers that Chase is engaged to someone else. Humiliated and heartbroken, she ends the relationship, refusing to see him again. But Chase doesn't let go easily. He begins stalking her, appearing uninvited and threatening her. The tension builds towards something dangerous. Kaya retreats even further into her world. Comforted only by the marsh and the words of poetry, she secretly writes under a pseudonym. Her isolation becomes not only emotional but physical. She's no longer seen in town, and only Jumpin', Mabel, and occasionally Tate know where she is. Part 2, The Swamp, 1969 to 1970. The Death of Chase Andrews, 1969. On the morning of October 30th, 1969, the body of Chase Andrews is discovered beneath the town's old fire tower. There are no footprints, no fingerprints, and no signs of struggle, yet foul play is quickly suspected. The entire town is shocked. Chase was a star quarterback, a local celebrity, and his death shakes Barkley Cove to its core. As the investigation begins, fingers point almost immediately to Kaya Clark, the Marsh Girl. Rumors about her relationship with Chase begin to swirl, especially once people recall they were seen together in the past. The strange, wild girl who lives alone in the marsh suddenly becomes the prime suspect. Despite the lack of physical evidence, the town's prejudice against Kaya fuels the case. She had motive. Chase cheated on her and reportedly harassed her after their breakup. She had no alibi. She was supposedly alone in the marsh, and she had opportunity. The bus schedules show she could have returned from Greenville the night before the murder, despite being away for a book meeting. Kaya is arrested and taken to jail. Life behind bars. Kaya's imprisonment is brutal. She has never been inside a jail, much less interacted closely with other people for long periods. The concrete walls feel like a trap, cutting her off from the natural world that has always protected her. She has nightmares. She paces, she starves herself, refusing food she didn't gather herself. Her body grows weak, her spirit begins to bend. And yet, even here, Kaya survives. Tom Milton, a retired lawyer, offers to represent her pro bono. A rare soul in Barkley Cove, Tom sees past the rumors and looks at Kaya as a person, not a myth. He visits her regularly, gradually earning her trust, and works tirelessly to prepare her defense. Jumpin and Mabel do everything they can to support her, even organizing others in the Black community to help. Meanwhile, Tate, heartbroken by her arrest, devotes himself to her case, bringing her books, comforts, and hope. He searches for anything that might help her prove her innocence. Through it all, Kaya maintains her silence. She neither begs nor weeps. She watches, listens, and waits. The trial. The courtroom is packed on the day of Kaya's trial. Townspeople fill the benches, hungry for spectacle. Some come out of curiosity, others come out of judgment, but very few believe in her innocence. Tom Milton methodically dismantles the prosecution's case. He points out that there are no witnesses, no forensic evidence, and no physical proof placing Kaya at the scene. The state's case rests entirely on speculation and prejudice, particularly the fact that Kaya is different alone and once had a falling out with Chase. Tom argues that Chase had many enemies. He had a reputation as a womanizer and was known to be aggressive. He reminds the jury that the absence of footprints could just as easily point to someone more familiar with the tower, someone from town. As the trial progresses, readers see flashbacks to the days leading up to Chase's death. We learn that he continued to harass Kaya, even attempting to assault her. One day, Kaya violently pushed him away, screaming for him to leave her alone. Tate witnessed the aftermath and feared what might happen next. The court proceedings become a battle between reason and bias, between what can be proven and what people want to believe. A verdict and a return. After long deliberation, the jury reaches its decision: not guilty. Gasps fill the courtroom. Some people celebrate, others mutter angrily, but for Kaya, the moment is silent. She does not cry or smile. She simply walks out, returning to the marsh as quietly as she came. Once back home, Kaya resumes her life. With the royalties from her books, she makes improvements to her shack, expands her library, and returns to studying nature. She reconnects with Tate, slowly allowing him back into her heart. He never pushes, never pressures. He simply shows up, again and again, until she finally lets him in. They live together, not married, but deeply bonded, in a quiet and enduring partnership. Kaya continues to document the marsh, now focused on the life cycles and secrets of the creatures she understands best. The final years. As the years pass, Kaya remains a myth to the town, a symbol of wilderness and enigma. She rarely appears in public and never attends town gatherings. Yet her books are studied across the country. Scientists reference her findings. Children are taught her work in classrooms, even in Barkley Cove. Tate and Kaya never have children, but their life together is rich in simplicity and understanding. They rarely speak about the past. She never mentions the trial, Chase, or the nights she spent in jail. That world, for her, is distant, as if it happened to someone else. Eventually, in her 70s, Kaya's body is found in her boat near the lagoon, still and peaceful, as if the marsh had claimed her once more. A hidden truth after her funeral, while sorting through her things, Tate discovers a hidden compartment in Kaya's bookshelf. Inside, he finds a collection of poems written under her long-held pseudonym, Amanda Hamilton. The poems speak of pain, loneliness, vengeance, and love. Among the papers, Tate also finds something chilling: the shell necklace Kaya had made for Chase, the very one he wore the night he died, and which had mysteriously disappeared from the scene. There is no note, no confession, just the necklace and the words that speak louder than testimony ever could. Tate silently returns the necklace to the marsh, letting it fall into the water, never to be found again. Kaya's secret remains buried, known only to the marsh, to the Crawdads, and now to him. 1. The marsh as mother and sanctuary. The marsh is more than a setting. It is Kaya's parent, teacher, and source of identity. It nurtures her when humans fail her and provides all the tools she needs to grow, survive, and even thrive. And nature never judges or abandons her. It simply exists, wild and honest. 2. Loneliness and human connection. Kaya's story is shaped by extreme loneliness, yet she longs for love and understanding. Her relationships with Tate, Jumpin, and Mabel, and even her connection to Chase, show her internal war, a desire for closeness and a fear of abandonment. 3. Prejudice and social rejection. The townspeople's treatment of Kaya underscores the destructive power of social prejudice. Her poverty, isolation, and difference make her an easy target for blame, showing how society marginalizes those who live outside the norm. 4th, female strength and self-reliance. Despite being orphaned, uneducated, and shunned, Kaya survives, and not just physically. She becomes an accomplished scientist, a published author, and a woman in control of her own destiny. 5. Hidden truths and justice. The ending suggests that justice doesn't always happen in a courtroom. Kaya's secret is morally complex, a quiet, possibly necessary act of self-defense, one that only the marsh is allowed to keep. Where the Crawdads Sing is a rich, emotionally charged novel that blends the lyricism of natural life with the grit of human survival. Delia Owens paints a deeply atmospheric portrait of a girl forged by solitude and scarred by betrayal, and yet filled with a quiet, unwavering strength. Kaya Clark's story is one of defiance against abandonment, judgment, and cruelty. Her world is a wild one, but within it, she finds order, love, and peace. In the end, the marsh claims her, not as prey, but as kin. This is not just a murder mystery. It is a meditation on the power of the natural world, the cruelty of society, and the silent resilience of a woman who lived on her own terms. Thank you for watching the book in brief. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, sometimes the wildest places hold the deepest truths.